left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
Shout out to the hottest chat in the MFN game. A-side official. No negotiation needed. Period. You already know the first in the building. Big blunts and boxing on deck. What it do, man? Salute. We have Stickin' Boys Fishing and Sports. What's good with it, man? Dan Tan on deck. Salute. Jessica the Queen is in the building. I see you. What's good? Arnold is on deck in the building. What's good? What's good? So we have various topics that's going on in boxing today. Of course, you know, I was on earlier and there was a lot of activity. We got Super Bowl weekend coming up, so all this spam and stuff. I appreciate the wrenches for doing what they got to do. I appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? The wrenches was on point. You know what I'm saying? Getting them up out of there, keeping the area policed and sanitized. I like that. Well, if you haven't already heard, this is another Hot Grease Chronicles brought to you by yours truly. Episode 255. This is called The Hunting Games because it seems like Crawford's name is back in the media once again. All because he cracked his lips and he said something in response to, and now people talking about him again. I'm going to get to this article with Boxing News 24 where Chris Williams, as always, the Crawford hater, has wrote another article. You know what I'm saying? The Crawford hater at Boxing News 24 has did another article in response to what Crawford said, saying FTO. You know what I'm saying? I did a live early pretty much stating my side, but it's going to get a little bit more clearer as to how, you know, certain individuals just responding to what Crawford said. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is a trash talking sport, and nobody should be shocked or delusional. Shout out to Carlos on deck in the building. What's good with it, Carlos? But before we get to that, I want to highlight some things. All right. It's very, very imperative that I get this out the way initially, because once I get on the Crawford situation, I'm not coming back to this guy. You know what I'm saying? So, as of late, we still haven't really heard any word on the big fights that's coming up. But when it comes to Crawford, right, people are getting antsy. They're getting antsy because it's people are not really talking about what they want them to talk about. I will talk about it in a way that I'm like, it's not big fights going on per se, but still there's a big name that's out there. You know what I'm saying? It's a big name. So I continue to see fighters use big names like, Bud Crawford. So recently, Bomac, you know what I'm saying, Terrence Crawford's trainer, there go the team right there, Brian Bomac McIntyre, pretty much reiterated that Jaron Ennis brings nothing to the table. Nothing to the table. Nothing to the table at all. And some people are feeling some type of way because if you couldn't get the job done the first time, the person that you was putting all this energy behind, now you want to go to the next man that you believe that can get it done. It's just called being selfish. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is. It's called being selfish. And right now, the Spence aholics in their inebriated state, they still trying to come up with answers and how to respond, to retaliate to July 29th. That was an infamous day in time, y'all. That shit was infamous. That's an infamous day in time. That so many people didn't get what they wanted. But Jaron Ennis has to understand that not only was his FICO score, still is, sitting at a 5, I'd say right now it's like a 547. It has dropped because we haven't heard anything from him. You know what I'm saying? There's been some dereliction of duty in the media. You know what I'm saying? You haven't stayed, consistent with calling out Crawford like Teofimo Lopez has. You have shown interest in fighting other fighters other than Terrence Crawford. You just, have this circuitous way about letting your intent be known. If you want to fight the man, start calling them out every other week. Stop letting people do your dirty work. But back to what Bomac said. Jaron Ennis don't have nothing to bring to the table. But now you have people up here saying he does. People that are saying just because he has a belt, that shit he should bring to the table. But I always will absolutely remind them that Crawford has a WBO belt too. And he had won that against Jeff Horn in his first fight at the welterweight division. Let that marinate in your spirit, please. Let that marinate in your spirit like freshly cooked filet mignon. You know what I'm saying? Soft. You cut it in half and you take a bite of it, soft like bubble gum. You know what I'm saying? You have some freshly prepared asparagus, fully loaded baked potato or mashed potato for you Southern people. You know what I'm saying? You have a nice, not too heavy beverage in front of you. You know what I'm saying? A glass of water, sweet tea, or those of you connoisseurs, have your best wine on deck. Either way you want to look at it. You have to bring something to the table. Or else people are going to continue to look at it like, no, you just up here wanting the limelight and to be a clout chaser. I'm really sick and tired of talking about it, but I'll continue to talk about it because I'm anxious to know what's Crawford's next fight too. You know what I'm saying? I want to know that next fight too. But We'll get back to him near the end of the live if I choose to. This team right here should be saluted because they have various fighters in their stable. And something prolific that Bomac said will always resonate with me is that when he told Derrick James, sit back and let us show you how it's done. When he said no more hiding, that was prolific. When I tell you, prolific, man. Let me tell you why it was prolific. Because it was before they actually stepped in the ring. It wasn't like Diddy James didn't have two unified champions in the stable. The man had an undisputed fighter in the stable already. That didn't matter to Bomac. Bomac already knew behind the scenes you didn't give 100%. You wasn't his coach the full time, in that Brian Castano rematch. You wasn't it. You can't take credit for that. What he said, you have not went up against me nor my staff. This man was speaking like he was the head of the senior enlisted, and he was preparing his unit to move out into combat. I loved it. Let me tell you, Bomac, I love that shit. That's classic, vintage, forever and a day, man. That line right there, classic, y'all. He reminded Diddy James, you haven't went up against me. Diddy James was over there worrying about being insulting, saying derogatory things about Bomac's weight. He wasn't focused. You know what I'm saying? After the fight, Bomac said he took his index finger and he tapped his head. He said, I eat knowledge. I eat intelligence. I tried to tell people when Bomac was commentating how much he know about boxing. You know what I'm saying? And the man is smart. The man is extremely, extremely smart. So what do you think they're gonna do when he knows he has a killer already and they already been to the highest pinnacle? What do you think he's gonna do for Teofimo Lopez? Y'all think Teo gonna keep that same energy post-fight? Be real with yourself. Do you believe Teo gonna keep the same energy? Because this is, once again, the hottest name on YouTube right now. The hottest name on YouTube right now. He's hot right now because, like I told you, I say most of the time Crawford don't pull up with security at all. The guy right there in the yellow shirt, Steven Nelson, is usually the one he's with. They've been knowing each other for a long time. And shout out to the vet, you know what I'm saying, the veteran, formerly in the Army, the U.S. Army. Shout out to Steven Nelson, man. Much respect to your brother. Cool cat. You know what I'm saying? I had the pleasure of interviewing you in Beverly Hills. But when Crawford moves on deck, I try to tell people he's a different type of dude. And that's why you look on here, I have the hunting games. People are trying their best to be the fox in this whole entire situation. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to be fox. They're trying to be sly about it, sneaky, clever. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know they messing with a wolf, a werewolf. They're messing with something that's abnormal. T.O. can call them out. Ennis them can continue to call whoever the case may be. But they're looking at that age 36. And they're not looking at it like they would anybody else. They, somebody else that they see, that so-and-so look, oh man, his age, he a little bit too old. And you're an old fighter. They're not looking at him like that. But when he showed up in all black, must I say, you know what I'm saying, all black, they don't know, man. Let me pick out a detail. Let me pick out a detail and remind you what happened. Crawford showed up to Vegas the other day in all black, right? If I must rewind this to last year, black don't mean shit, it don't mean too much to Crawford, because Errol Spence showed up to the Grand Arrivals. He had on some black AF, if I'm not mistaken. He had some black Air Forces on. I don't know what statement he was trying to send, but you would have thought that Crawford was the one that invented the black Air Force Ones, and what people intend to make memes and vids about with the Air Force Ones, the black AF ones. You know what I'm saying? He beat the brakes off the dude. But in this particular situation last night, I'm saying to myself, do we have something brewing? Because people are getting desperate out here. If Crawford wasn't that body, that name, why would they keep on mentioning it then? Why are people coming up here doing, full live streams on what Crawford is doing and not doing? People want him to fight freaking Teofimo Lopez right now. People are getting anxious and telling him he need to fight Boots because Boots deserve it. You know what I'm saying? But every time Canelo name come up, they don't want him to be a part of that starlight. They want to keep him grounded, y'all. They don't want him to be an astronaut. They don't want him to go to space at 168 and go up there and fight Canelo and goddamn, look. He goes in there and beat Canelo. Come on, man. It's a wrap. It's absolutely a wrap. But anyway, getting back to this picture. Bud Crawford has been known to dress up in black. And being this winter outside is a little cold in certain places. Hey, he might have been a little chilly, so he wanted to make sure he was warm. He showed up to the weigh-in, and somebody said, what do you think about, T.O.? He said, F.T.O. You know what I'm saying? Now, people are saying that he's ducking T.O. Yeah, you heard it. Yeah, you heard it, man. They have came out their lips because they're bored, complacent, stupid, and they're saying that Crawford is ducking Teofimo Lopez. Let's have a moment of silence, man. You just got to breathe it in, breathe it out. Because boxing, I'm telling you, man, you got to make sure you're built for this shit. You got to be built for the conversation that you may volunteer yourself to be a part of. You got to be, when you hear things like this, you say, what? Look, he's ducking 140 pounder, all because he wanted knowledge. So I remember, if I'm trying to be petty, when Demetrius Andrade pulled up on Canelo Alvarez at the presser, and he wanted to let himself be known, he wanted to let the people know he wanted to fight. And Canelo said, I know. You want payday. Were they saying that Canelo was ducking Andrade? Were they saying that? When Jahad Tucker pulled up on Xander Zayas at the presser and said he wanted to fight, and Zayas say, I'm not trying to fight you right now, did they say Zayas was ducking Jahad Tucker? I'm just saying, I'm just trying to come up with a reasonable scenario to wonder why someone would say, senseless buffoonery as Crawford is now ducking Teofimo Lopez, a fighter that's at 140 pounds. Why would he be ducking this guy? I guess they bored. You know what I'm saying? I guess they bored out their mind. Let me get to the chat right quick. Bud beat Errol so bad July 29th that they stripped him of his belt because the sanctioning bodies don't want Bud to hurt anyone else at 147. Beat the man so beat he got forced out of the division. Bud don't reset the game. I like that. You know what I'm saying? Bomac, now it's time to turn the jab. Bomac, now it's time to turn that jab into a hook. I like that. But it was prolific turn of events. You know what I'm saying? It was prolific turn of events at that time. I definitely appreciated knowing that Terrence Crawford's name is still buzzing in the YTC. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to what's next, you have to ask yourself, due to the damage that Carlos just mentioned, like, everything that we know Bud Crawford has done, if Teofimo Lopez does not keep the same energy post-fight and call out Crawford, will y'all remind him that he's capping? Will y'all remind him if he don't stick to his same energy he had? You know what I'm saying? Will you? You know what I'm saying? Will you? I'm just curious. Will y'all continue to remind Jaron Ennis that he is not speaking Crawford's name enough to gain positive feedback? Have y'all not understood that he told Jaron Ennis was a theater fighter? And then he said F. Teofimo Lopez. Both of those guys, they're saying that Crawford don't want to fight now when he doesn't have to fight him. Now, does one have more than the other? Yes. Teofimo Lopez has accomplished more than Jaron Ennis. And as I was in conversation in another group, somebody was saying that Teofimo Lopez was the better fighter out of the two. He's accomplished more out of the two. And then they asked what was the bigger fight. They say Teofimo Lopez was the bigger fight out of the two. Then you have individuals continue to look at the eye test with Ennis, and they saying, oh man, he looks like he can do it. Well, why didn't the looks, when it comes down to the looks of when Crawford was about to fight Spence and he was stopping all his opponents, why didn't he get the look value? Why didn't you inject some more points on his FICO to give him the credit he was warranted heading to his fight with Spence? They kept on saying he ain't fought nobody, But now, when it comes down to, Ennis's resume and everything, he hasn't fought nobody, but he has a title, and he received the title in the worst way. So I'm not understanding how they're trying to get passes. Why are they boosting up these two fighters? You know what I'm saying? Why are they boosting them up so much? What do they have that Crawford can get? Okay, they say Teofimo Lopez is the bigger fight. Let me ask you this question. What does he bring to the table for Crawford to fight him at 147? What does he bring? He doesn't have a title. He just has a name. Will Crawford do grand numbers like, Ryan Garcia fighting Gervonta Davis? Will they do something spectacular? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do. But I don't see Teofimo's name being that big enough to dance with Crawford on one night and get him paid his highest paycheck. He don't have that power. You know what I'm saying? He may have the kind of like the star power in the media and the level of boxing that he's contending on as one of the stars of boxing. You know what I'm saying? For him, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about for us, the overall sport in general. Can you put him up there with the top three names that's hot right now? I'm talking about remove him talking about Crawford and have him doing his own thing. Is he top three based off your performances and who you fought? Yeah, he fought, Josh Taylor. You know what I'm saying? But is it big enough names out there? Has he did more than some other fighters who fought big names and people are talking about? I'm just saying. At the end of the day, should Crawford entertain Teo's call out since he's in the building, if he chooses to do that? But if Teofimo Lopez don't call Crawford out again after the fight because he said he wants to fight Crawford or I forgot what he said. He want to fight Crawford or Haney or Tank. I'm not sure what the other two names was. But if he doesn't keep the same energy, man, what should we say about him? You know what I'm saying? Because from what I'm hearing, he's trying to get the winner of Rolly Romero and Isaac Cruz. You know what I'm saying? The rumor mill is that he's trying to get the winner of Rolando Romero and Isaac Cruz. That don't seem like no fight at no 147. He threw jabs at Conor Benn, who is 147, that said he wanted to fight him. And he made this face. You know, like, what is he calling me out for? And people are asking the same thing, like, why are you calling out Crawford? Conor Benn wants to fight you because he definitely needs your name. He need a lot right now in his career. He need a big name. He definitely do. He need a big name. So him calling you out at 147, that's not so bad. But you calling out Crawford at 147, he beats you. He's not going to get no credit from it. All he's going to get is your name. That's it. You already lost to Kambosos. But I know you one of the better fighters. I got love for T.O., real talk. What he was able to do in a short period of time, that will always be anchored in as some legendary shit, for real, because he fought the pound-for-pound guy with that many fights on his record, with 15 professional fights now. 15 professional fights. His 16th win was against Vasily Lomachenko. He did his thing. But this has nothing to do with you calling out Crawford, somebody who's definitely on a whole nother level. And there's people out here that definitely understands that if him and Canelo is made, the betting odds might be 50-50. Imagine that. Imagine a fighter that everybody want to keep in their mouth. He gets the fight signed with Canelo, and the odds come out, and it's a 50-50. Then it's going to get crazy. It's going to get real crazy. It's going to get seriously crazy. Y'all hold on for a second, man. Let me fix something right quick. That's my fault. Somehow I dropped out. But let me get back to this person right here. Hey, be very aware of these bots or whatever that's in here talking about something totally different. Okay, don't panic. You know what I'm saying? Don't panic. All right. It's Super Bowl weekend and it seems to be active right now. Conquest, what's good? What's good? I see you in the building. Them ninjas still trying to eat off another man's plate. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know how it is. Andrew Charles on deck. What's good? Look, we're not, put it this way, we're not playing a game that says Crawford has to cater to anybody. First of all, he don't want to fight. He don't want to fight Boots. He don't want to fight a fighter that's in the theater. So telling somebody that's clearly the A side that they want to look for bigger and better fights, telling them to send the contract makes what? It makes no difference. It makes no sense. Just because you're sitting there and you chose to remove the enforcement and you went to the IBF and made sure they strip him, telling somebody to send a contract, man, that just makes you even look that much worse. For real, it makes you look that much worse. Shout out to Andrew on deck. I see you, man. Teo looking for a paycheck and get everyone talking about him. Teofimo is a clout chaser. Speaking of that, right, it just reminded me that also I heard the article that was being written that Crawford's trying to cash out. Have you heard such? Crawford's trying to cash out against Canelo Alvarez. They're saying if he gets to fight against Canelo Alvarez, he's cashing out because he's on his way into retirement. And look, I just look at his mentality as just different. You know, I mean, I remember when people were saying like he had the coin flip, right? And Spence ended up giving him the concession that he wanted. And they was trying to say that he fooled. I heard somebody literally say this. He was trying to fool Errol Spence into believing that, you know, just because he gave them concessions that he was going to go in there and somehow take the orders or whatever. That's what they were saying. That's never the impression I got. I just felt like Spence felt that he should give him concessions based off trying to make the fight or whatever because he needed the fight. You know what I'm saying? But him giving him the concessions he gave him, people was trying to insinuate that Crawford was supposed to go in there and lie down and didn't. And that's why Spence was taken off guard the way he was. Once Crawford started to molest Errol Spence's jawline, you know what I'm saying, his forehead, you know what I'm saying, start to molest the texture of his skin, start to make that shit, you know, just a little bit more tenderized than what it's supposed to be. L-File player, what's good with it? Salute. What's good? Calling someone out in public media is not the same as trying to make the fight. You can call someone out all day, but if you're not doing anything behind the scenes to make the fight, you just talking. Facts. Totally agree. Well said. You know what I'm saying? Well said. And, you know, when it comes down to trying to make the fight behind the scenes, that means everything. That means you're serious about trying to, you know, get your fans on board and let them know, hey, we in talks. Even though I have been on record as saying when they say it's in talks, in play, you know what I'm saying, in negotiation or whatever, that don't mean anything. You when you get the real news from the line droppers, you know what I'm saying, the ones that have the first drop of defense when they drop the news to say, go ahead and put this out. You know what I'm saying? The Bensons, Idicks, you know what I'm saying, Coppingers and stuff like that. Rafael. Them the ones, when they drop the news, you know it kind of gets serious. But it's been said that Crawford is somehow ducking Teofimo Lopez and Ennis. After everything he's done, now he's been said he's ducking Teofimo Lopez and Ennis. When you take the scales as far as, you know, who's done what and who heavy the scales a bit more when it comes to credentials. Okay, that's Teo all day. But then you look at both fighters and you say to yourself, will Crawford get any credit for fighting these two fighters? Will he get any credit? I mean, at this juncture in his career, does he really want to fight fighters just because? Yeah, he can get a freaking 3-time undisputed by beating Ennis. Of course. But when it comes down to Crawford retiring and his three-time undisputed becomes a topic of discussion, and there's a panel of fighters that may have been there when he was competing, or whoever they may be. It may be, boxing commentators. It may be, boxing historians. Crawford don't want them speaking about that three-time undisputed that has an asterisk, all because the public pretty much generated interest for him to fight Ennis, because boxing at the time wasn't doing too much. So the boxing fans got tired. They got complacent, bored, and they started looking for stuff. And they said, "Oh, who's the hottest name out here in the media? Right? Okay, let's go to Crawford again. Let's bring up the boot situation. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring up the boot situation." See, they don't want to get behind Teo like that. You know why? Because Teo, they feel Teo try to play the race card sometimes. He try to put blacks against Hispanics and stuff like that. But in the meanwhile, he will sit up there and talk to black fighters all the time. But yet he'll come out with something like, if Top Rank want to keep the black fighters, they can have them. That was controversial. You know what I'm saying? There's people online crying once again, the T.O.'s racist, T.O. racist. We knew he was racist. Man, he's just talking. When T.O. called, when he told Deontay Wilder to stop acting like a B.I., you know what I'm saying? People's like, "Oh man, he's racist. What's wrong with him?" What did he just say? Racism still exists. He's trying to pull that card. It'll be good. You know how they like to see black fight against a Latino fighter, a Mexican fighter. You know how they like that. Racism still exists. So he's trying to freaking get people riled up, man. He's trying to walk the line, a fine line in the gray area, on what message are you trying to send to the people. Theo's trying to send a message, man. By all means necessary, I'm going to get y'all to tune in. By all means necessary, he's going to get them to tune in. That's what I've been saying. I asked Boots fans, what have Boots done to try to make the fight happen with Bud? Since Bud is ducking him, I can never get an answer. It's easy for them. That word is one of the most abused words on the boxing platforms, ducking. You know what I'm saying? Ducking is to basically avoid something, to go underneath. You know what I'm saying? To avoid. I mean, why would Crawford want to stoop as low to avoid fighting Boots when he's such on a high level and he had to work his entire career to get to a level where people are questioning? You know what I'm saying? They're questioning who's going to win between him and Canelo. It's not just an easy freaking decision. They're questioning. They're saying, I don't go into this fight and saying that it's a lopsided affair. I think Crawford has a possibility to win. I think Canelo has a possibility to do this. It's people that's looking at this as a balanced, prognosticated prediction, is that this is a 50-50. But then you get the hardcore fans that want to say Crawford don't deserve, and he's in the day for taking challenges. They're praise fighters back in the day. Oh man, I'm a boxing historian. I've been covering boxing since 1903. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I can tell you that guy Crawford. Hey, I don't think you should go in there and fight that guy Canelo. That's not sticking. You know what I'm saying? That's not sticking to the to convince people that you've been following the sport for a long time. That's not sticking to the code. Right now boxing is struggling for big fights. And then you talk about fighters who you commend for calling fighters out, right? But then when this particular fighter calls out the man Canelo Alvarez, the one and only, all of a sudden, Canelo say, "Oh, I'm not going to get nothing off him. He's too small." He didn't say anything about his performance. He can't fight. We're talking about fighting. You know what I'm saying? Fighting-wise, boxing, that's what we want to know. Don't start talking about size. because we all seen, fighters go in there that's much bigger and get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? We seen freaking Dimitri Bivol almost knocked out Gilberto Ramirez, Zerto. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody talking about size. We watch heavyweights all the time. They have several pounds gap in between what they weighed in. They go in there and fight all the time, and people just look at it like, oh, that's the heavyweight division, though. That don't count. It does count, because you have fighters that rehydrate up to 165 pounds is fighting at 140. I'm just saying. It's always a size thing when it comes down to this sport. But it shouldn't just be specific to Terrence Crawford to come up with these excuses. Can he box? Can he fight? Yes, he can. So let him fight Canelo. Stop talking about it's too many divisions. Let me ask you this. And this is my whole thought process, right? Because I know I'm talking to adults, man. Adults. I'm talking about humans who have been freaking living for a period of time where they understand the cognitive thought process. They know how to freaking troubleshoot and put things together. You know what I'm saying? How is 2 divisions okay, but not 3 divisions? Can somebody explain that? How can 2 be accepted, but 3 no? You can go up 2 full divisions, and it's okay. 2 full divisions, but you saying I can't go up 1 more division? Is it the amount of pounds in between divisions? From 47 to 54? Is it too much weight in between that? You know what I'm saying? Because I told y'all once again, when they step in the ring, when Spence stepped in there with Crawford, they was definitely over 154. So really, I'm saying this, it's really 2 divisions he's going up. He's going up 2 divisions because we all know that they was in there fighting and they was in the 150s, man. They was above the 154 limit as super welterweight. They was above it, man. So therefore, let's just say Crawford is requesting to fight Canelo Alvarez 2 divisions up, because 2 divisions for Mikey Garcia was okay. Yes, he had beat Sergey Lipinets at 140, but he had also dropped back down to 135 to beat freaking Robert Easter Jr. And at that time, he moved from 35 to 40 to 47. He went up 2 divisions, and nobody wasn't complaining. Nobody wasn't saying anything. That man was a 4-division champion, 1 more division than Terrence Crawford, and everybody was on board with it. Now that Crawford want to move up to 68 and fight Canelo, I think a lot of people are just mad that he's able to even, project that, and people give it play. People is really giving that play, man. They really up here talking about, that's interesting right there. Who y'all got? You know what I'm saying? That's what they saying. Who y'all got? Who y'all got? Who you think will win that fight? Who y'all got? Who y'all got? People are not looking at it like, man, that's insane. Stop it. That don't make any sense at all. No. It's so much to the point where people are not even bringing up Terrence Crawford and Jermell Charlo anymore. You know what I'm saying? No one's really talking about that. He has the WBA belt. Now, speaking of legacy, if Crawford can move up from 47 to 54 to fight Jermell Charlo, people will tune in. Because that's a history. Jermell Charlo has been a whiner. You know what I'm saying? He's been disrespectful. The stuff that Jermell Charlo has said about Crawford is much more, toxic in my opinion than what Teofimo Lopez is saying. Like, there's been plenty of people that speak about his resume. But all Teofimo is doing is just making it sound a bit more wasteful than it should be. He's trying to put it in the toilet, stir it up a little bit, add some more to it, urine in it a little bit. He's just trying to make the smell worse. It's not like they ain't criticized Crawford about his resume. for several years leading up to the Spence fight? Yes, they did. Him saying he's fought soft opposition, so that makes him look like a bigger person. Yeah, you're going to get a reaction out of Crawford because he's the man right now. They keep on taking shots at him. From content creators to the boxers, they taking shots at him. When somebody's recognizing you as being a name that's out here, that's active, when they know that you that guy right now, they're going to start talking about you. So in order for them to talk about you and make mention about you, you had to do something right. You have to be at the hierarchy. You have to be on top of that mountain. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to the COC, the chain of command, you have to be up there with the best of them. So it's really a compliment when you hear these guys talk about, you know what I'm saying, I want to fight Crawford, and then they say something negative. Once again, T.O., he contradicted himself. You know what I'm saying? He keeps saying that he want to fight the best. T.O. knows that it takes more than a fighter just saying he the best. See, I can tell you they listen because I did a live on this about how T.O. is very much contradicting himself. You say you want to fight the best fighter, but yet you say Crawford fights have been against handicapped fighters. So once again, as we said before, you mentioned Errol Spence, you mentioned all the fighters in the welterweight division that you believe has been handicapped. So that will put us back to what I said prior to July 29th. I said, you all are looking at it like Crawford ain't fought nobody, so it's no way that he can be developed enough. He can be as sharp and technically sound like people give him credit for if he ain't fought nobody. Because if you haven't been in there with the competition, how have you been able to prove that you are absolutely deserving of the pound-for-pound list? Teo keeps contradicting himself. I thought he was going to leave it alone with talking about his opponents, but he came back and said, hey, Crawford fought soft fighters. He wouldn't dare call Crawford soft because Crawford would have absolutely found him when he pulled up. But he said he fought soft opposition, so that's what makes him who he is. So now, knowing that we know again that you have contradicted yourself, why do you want to fight Crawford again? Because you said he fought injured fighters, handicapped fighters. You said Spence had the Zataracts, or whatever he called it, the Ataracts. He almost slipped up and said weight drain. If I'm not mistaken, he mentioned that one time. So he even took Spence. It wasn't even Crawford's hardest fights, and put him in there, a fighter that was on the pound-for-pound list. So a part of me want to say, well, look at it this way, Teal. You need to make up your mind on if Crawford is the best out here or not. If he's the best out there, just stick to the game plan and say, hey, I think he's the best, and I want to fight him. He's one division higher than I am. I want to fight him. Stop going at him and saying, you know what? He fought soft opposition, but I want to fight him. Why are you calling him out? Because, like I said, to your point, you're saying he hasn't fought anybody on his resume to prove that he is the best guy. He is the guy out here. He ain't did anything. You just can't say that he saying he the best. I think I'm the best. Let's fight. No. It's plenty of fighters up here saying they the best. I heard Devin Haney say, hey, Bill say he's the best fighter in the sport. If it's all about saying you're the best fighter in the sport, then you have Devin Haney in your own weight division, if that's the case. If you're going to continue to call out Crawford, give him his recognition and say he's the best fighter, you know what I'm saying, out right now, and I want to challenge myself to go in there and fight him. Not just freaking say, okay, I want to go fight him, but check this out. He's soft. I mean, he fought soft opposition. He fought soft opposition. His opposition was freaking handicapped. Look at Jose Benavidez. He had one leg. Look at this person. He had this. Kell Brook. He had his eye. This, that, and the other. Errol Spence. But Errol Spence been on the pound for pound list for longer than you were, T.O. So make up your mind on what you want to do. You want to fight the best? Say he the best. If you don't think he the best, why you want to fight him? You know what I'm saying? Fight Devin Haney in your own division. Y'all have history from 135. Fight that man. That's easy. Shout out to Jamal Neasy in the building. What's good with it, Neasy? Salute to you, man. I see you on deck. Boots is the natural progression, though. Why not defend your titles at 147? What is a natural progression? Man, y'all just talking. I know it's Super Bowl weekend and some of y'all are just inebriated right now. Drunk. You know what I'm saying? Intoxicated. You know what I'm saying? If I was anywhere close to you, I will give you a field sobriety test. You know what I'm saying? For real. The fact that Boots was gifted a belt that Crawford earned in the ring and now he's challenging him is just ridiculous. I agree with that, man. I agree. I don't know what that's about. Y'all need to stay on topic. Philip, what's good? Shots they take at Bud are seasonal too. It may be his workout regimen got him jealous. They shouldn't be worried about the workout regimen. They should be worried about, do you want to fight him or not? And is it a purpose, a reason that he should acknowledge you calling him out? Is it any type of reason that he should acknowledge Teofimo Lopez calling him out any other way than when somebody mentioned and he said FTO? Is he wrong in any way, shape, or form from a guy who say he wants to fight Crawford because he said he's the best, but yet when it comes time to placing that halo over Crawford's head and recognizing him as being one of the best of this era, he says he fought soft opposition. They was handicapped. So once again, WCS says this: he cannot be the best in your eyes if you are devaluing or diluting what he's been able to accomplish at this point in his career. It makes no sense, man. It's hypocrisy at its best, bro. I see you, Neasy. I'm just talking about Crawford pulling up. And he was on a mission, man. He had on all black, you know what I'm saying? He had his chin tucked and he was on a mission. You know what I'm saying? You know, and some media guy said, you know, what do you got to say about Teofimo Lopez? And he said, FTO. I mean, he said it with conviction. And he didn't have no expression on his face either. He just kept it moving. He said, Teo ain't going to quit until he get beat up like his predecessors. Oh, wow. Oh. Man, no, you didn't say that. You know what I'm saying? No, you didn't say that. Shout out to IOTBA. Boxing Talk in the building. What's good with it, man? Salute to you. He calling Crawford out because he knows he's the best. I think this is the first time I was ever left a comment in my chat. Ring the bell. Hey, man, you already know it's love, man. He said he calling Crawford out because he knows he's the best. Yeah, man. But when he call him out, though, and he, you know, put that, he over-marinated, though. You know what I'm saying? Him calling him out, he feel that's all he need. But he over-marinated with, you know, like criticism. Like, call him out so it can look the part, man. You know what I'm saying? So the dish don't look all soggy and unprepared. If you're preparing something from the public and you want to spoon feed them this, make sure it's properly prepared. Make sure the dish, you looked at it correctly. Don't put it out there and you say it's tantalizing, but let me add this to it. Oh, all his opposition are soft. They handicap. So that would say up to this point, He ain't did nothing. Why these cats always got to mention his opposition is soft based off Spence supposedly being weight drain? You know, all the other stuff, it was all this weight drain. He was running up Mount Charleston, St. Charleston or something in Vegas, you know, close to the fight. He had injuries. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they came up with all these excuses rather than just acknowledging that he didn't have the right strategy. And just like I said, Diddy James could not outcoach Bomac. You know what I'm saying? And Team Crawford said he didn't even come out of his plan A. They was in A. They stuck to plan A, and that's all they had to do. They didn't even use B and C. They had a plan B and C. I'm waiting for a fighter to pull it up out of Crawford. Can Canelo be the one to pull it up out? You know what I'm saying? For sure. Appreciate that comment, bro. They accosted, bro, inebriated. Hey, what's going on, D-Town in the building? Salute to you, man. What's good? What's good? Jay said, yeah, he was on a mission, wearing that all black like Nino in New Jack City at the meeting. Yeah, man, he was on a mission, bro. You know, when you see the white of Crawford's eyes, Crawford's on a mission, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure. You know, I always tell people, you know, the stuff I learned about Tio when I showed them the video how I was walking to when he was going to the locker room, man, and how he was basically acting one way with the media, and then when he got behind the scenes, he said, oh, good. I don't have to do that no more. You know what I'm saying, right now. So he just went back to his regular self, chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when we was back in the locker room, none of that stuff was going on. He was on the phone. He was chilling. Oscar Valdez was back there, Richard Comey, and they was chilling. But he told me, he said, a lot of these guys don't know how to address the media. The media is a very important outlet. They are a window. They're a door to you getting out to more and more people. He said, this is what I do. I practice on that. I make sure I know how to talk to the media. He told me that years ago, man, before he even had titles, that these boxers won't even take the time to do a solid interview. You know what I'm saying? And I made videos on this long time ago. And now people are really paying attention that Tio knows how to manipulate. What did I say he was? A master manipulator when it comes to the media. And he do it with a straight face, just like I told you all with Sandor Martin. I said, man, Tio's playing with y'all. He waited just as the camera come up and say, hey, bro, do I still got it? Come on, man. If you didn't spit your food out onto the TV and start laughing, man, I swear to God, he said that with a straight face, man. That's him playing games. And then what happened? YouTube ran with it. Oh, man, is Tio about to retire? Oh, he looked bad. He's this. I told him he was going to lead 35 and get a title at 40. When he had that mediocre performance with Sandor Martin, right? People was like, oh, he's washed up. He's done. He ain't been the same since the Kambosos fight. Look, I couldn't believe it, yo. It takes that much. I'm talking about just a crumb. It takes a droplet for a boxing fan to see a fighter who's coming off 2 freaking split decision losses. No, wins, I think. Yeah, wins. To say that all because Tio went in the fight, guns are blazing and got dropped in the first, that he took too much damage from Kambosos? Kambosos now. They say the man took too much damage from Kambosos because he lost his title. But yet he comes back in here and Josh Taylor and he looks sharp. He played y'all, man. He played y'all. Tio qualified to call Crawford out. Am I wrong? I know you mentioned that the other night. Is he qualified? The qualification that goes in. I would say the qualification deals with the credentials that he has. He does have the credentials, and he's been on the pound for pound list. I don't know if he's still on the pound for pound list. You know what I'm saying? But in that case, if you're talking about qualifications based off credentials, we would potentially say, yeah, he does have the credentials that qualify him to call Crawford out. But when it comes to putting shit together, you know what I'm saying? As far as what makes business sense, that's a whole nother conversation. The reason why I say that, IO, is because, once again, one of the biggest fights in the past 5 years that everybody was talking about, they was talking about how Crawford never did anything. Like, he ain't never had no huge pay-per-view numbers. And this man had undisputed under his belt. So they was like, he ain't sold no tickets. He ain't did no big numbers. He doesn't even freaking qualify to freaking fight Spence. Spence did this with Mikey Garcia, and he sold this out, he sold that out. I mean, they was busy up here talking about, as far as pay-per-view, Crawford don't bring nothing to the table. What about his titles? Man, that ain't shit, bro. Forget that, man. Who did he fight? That was the same conversation. Who did he fight? Who did he fight? I'm looking at the pound for pound list, and T.O. still hanging out at number 10. You know what I'm saying? He's hanging out number 10 on the ring, and Spence is at number 8. But as far as qualification, he is on the pound for pound list. Okay, cool. But once again, when Crawford calls out Canelo, is he qualified to call out Canelo? Sure. Do I still hear people talk about it's in the same move? It doesn't make any sense for him to move up 3 weight divisions? Where do we draw the line, man? How many divisions can it be for it to qualify to sensibly call a fighter out if you're a fighter? Is it 1 division, 2 divisions, or 3 divisions? If they're saying that 3 divisions haven't been done before in this type of manner, then why not be the first to do it? If you was the first to be 2-time undisputed, then goddamn it, why not have him be the first to freaking move up 3 weight divisions? And really, I'm talking about really show them what 2 pound for pound fighters can do. Because let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. If we had the opportunity to get in front of that flashing red light and have them freaking hold that shit, a lot of us want to forget July 29th, goddammit. A lot of us want to, we want to forget September 30th too. Because that was supposed to be heralded as 2 undisputed going against each other. But one, Jermell Charlo was stripped of the WBO time to open the bell, but legitimately it was 2 undisputed fighters. Let Crawford show him how it's supposed to be done. Just 1 division lower than it was. At least we know Crawford is going to go in there and actually, put out. Unlike Jermell Charlo went over there to just be a conforming dance partner, a live body in the ring, letting people know that, yes, 2024 is the year of the Olympics, and he's trying out for the 4x400 relay. 12 rounds, y'all. He's a new sponsor. Buy any type of running shoe you want him to be. Asics, Nike, New Balance, Adidas, all that shit. At least we know Crawford's going to go in there and fight. Crawford's going to go in there and try to freaking break another record. He's going to try to be the first to ever do it. A real 2 undisputed getting together. Vice, freaking, with Jermell Charlo, he's not even showing up to fight. It was messed up, bro. T.O. just trying to get under Crawford's skin. But look, check this out. Shouldn't we hold him accountable if he doesn't keep the same energy after the fight? Because now, people are talking about it, because everybody that interviewed T.O., he want to talk about Crawford. So let's just say he beats Jermaine Ortiz tonight, and they ask him. I don't know who's going to be interviewing him after. They ask him, hey, T.O., so you was able to get this win. You know what I'm saying? You're 20-1 now. What's next for you? What's next? Tell the fans what's next. We're curious. We heard you in the media. You know what I'm saying? You have the floor. Who's next? Well, I think, since everybody know, I was calling out Crawford. I really want to fight him, but I'm looking at the Isaac Cruz and Roller Romero winner. Should we crucify him if he does that? Now, if he sticks to the same energy, say, listen, y'all know me. I feel I'm the best in the sport. I mean what I say. I already showed you what I can do. I want Crawford. Period. It ain't nothing else to it. I will respect that. I will respect Tio if he stuck to the game plan after it and said, hey, I want Crawford. Point blank, period. I ain't looking at nobody else. Because that'll be more than what Boots did. Hey, what's the ideal fight for you Boots moving forward? What's the ideal fight? If you had to just pick a fighter that really is gonna set you up a notch moving forward, really set the standard to come, being that you're such a young lion, 26 years old, what would be the name? Dad, can you come over here, please? They asked me what would be the ideal. Well, why are you acting like that? That's why it's in sports. You know him. But it's the question that he asked me. He asked what would be the ideal fight and moving forward and everything. I know what he want me to say, but I don't want to say it. Okay, tell him what's on your mind then. I just want to fight Barrios and Stantiones and the other guy. What other guy is that? I don't know. You got to remember, you're speaking out to the general public. What is the other guy? Get it out. It sounds like you're trying to pronounce a B, right? Yeah. Just forget it. I'll get back to you another day. Thank you. It's so stressful. That's what you got to go through with Ennis. Ennis don't be wanting to call. He want somebody else to call out Crawford. He don't want to call him out. He gets Tourette syndrome. YSM Sports asked him the perfect question, man, when he got the belt. Because we all know Ennis said when he get the title, he's stepping on him. It's over. He's stepping on him. But when it came time for him, to step up and step on that question with an answer, he didn't do it, man. I'm serious, he didn't do it. And that's look, you gotta credit YSM for asking him that question. That was a fighter that he covered all the time. He didn't waste no time, man. He didn't waste no time asking him the most legitimate question that you can ask the fighter to get that hype going, to get that freaking energy, to get that freaking circulation going within the media, that Ennis called out Crawford legitimate. He didn't call out no other fighter. No other fighter. He said Barrios, Stantiones, and the other guy. I don't have nothing else to say, bro. You know what I'm saying? And if Teofimo was trying to get on the Crawford skin, well, what the heck did these cats do leading up to the Spence fight? You think they said enough hatred? Man, there was enough hatred out there for a lifetime. And you saw what that led to. It led to carnage. Casualties. You know what I'm saying? They had to desanitize, or whatever you call it. They had to call in a hazmat team to wipe that canvas down before they packed it up. It was so much DNA. They had to spray that down with special made chemicals, man. Jamal, before he even got in his car, he had to strip down and put on a different outfit. Because, goddamn, how much blood? Come on, man. Nelly on deck, what's good? Salute to everyone in the chat. Smash that. Salute to you, brother. Salute to everybody. It's fight night. For those of you who's going to be tuned in a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? Tio and Crawford, big business now, no doubt. Tio and Crawford our big business. And you know, at the end of the day, it's all about who's gonna fund it. You know what I'm saying? Do you have an answer as to who's gonna fund that fight? You know what I'm saying? Because neither, they're gonna look at it like this. We know Crawford was on the big stage with Spence, but no one's really talking about the numbers or anything like that as far as pay-per-view. We know they did well, but when it comes to Teofimo Lopez, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to Teofimo Lopez or Ennis, who's gonna fund the fight? How are they gonna get paid? Yeah, he can sell a fight, but who's gonna fund it? Who's gonna be the connoisseurs to take the lead on this fight? We up here hearing no annual budget. I mean, I think somebody said that they about to come out with some other network. What network is that? PBS? Black Prime? What are we talking about? Hey, I'm down with that. You know, Teo can definitely sell a fight. I brag plenty of time about Teo knowing how to talk to the media, man. And he does it with this weird, you know, expression that he has. He almost look like is borderline freaking weird, goofy, but stoic and freaking, you know, sinister. You really can't figure the dude out. But when it comes down to it, when he on his game, he's on his game. You know? Yeah, 3 divisions is crazy, man, but you got to do crazy shit this day and time in boxing to get really respected as one of the best to ever do it. Have Canelo did some crazy stuff. He's one of those guys that, you know, when he came up, he had the momentous 2 fights with Gennady Golovkin back to back. You know what I'm saying? I can't give him moving up to 75, knocking out Rocky Fielding with a body shot in 3 as being crazy. I can't really look at Sergey Kovalev at the time. He was, I mean, you know what? I mean, when he moved up to 68, I think, when he first moved up to 68. But moving up, facing Sergey Kovalev at the time, you know, I don't know, man. Just the fight looked funny, but he did what he had to do. And all the other names that he fought. You know what I'm saying? I do accredit him for getting that clinic from Floyd Mayweather. I do accredit him for stepping up and fighting Bivol, even though I believe that they underestimated Bivol. Because I just saw Canelo get put in the same positions up against the ropes, and they was waiting for Bivol, you know, to really jump through and get close enough for them to counter him or something like that, and Bivol would never do it. So when it kept going on and on, I say, what's going on? Reynoso, you better than this, bro. Like, come on. Why you can't put up some resistance to that shit? Y'all the one wanted to fight. Cobain said they don't want Bud to achieve all the accolades. Had it been Errol moving up, they would be all for him fighting Canelo. And you bring up a very good point, right? You bring up a very good point. I think it was E Thriller that brought this up yesterday when people can criticize that Bud is speaking about this, you know, in the manner for which he is moving up. And it seems, you know what I'm saying? It seems like a something that he's unable to accomplish, right? It seems like it's a failed mission to begin with because of the divisions, the move up, all right? But you remember when the commentators, when we still haven't got the Crawford Spence fight, when the commentators was asking about Crawford and Spence to Errol Spence, and he said, yeah, that fight would be nice, but it'd be better to step up and fight Canelo Alvarez. And at that time, man, all these Errol Spence fans was looking at it like, yeah, you know, he the man right now. Yeah. Why not go up 3 weight divisions and fight Canelo? The same, it wasn't nowhere close to the criticism Crawford getting. It wasn't nowhere close, dog. They was like, hell yeah. Spence move up there. Oh, man, that'd be a great fight. Canelo would have goddamn canceled his career, bro. They talk about cancel culture. Canelo would have goddamn retired Spence, man. the way he is now. But look, Spence was talking about Canelo instead of Crawford. Finally, when he found out, nope, you ain't going to be able to get that fight. He was even on the sacrificial list. They had Jamal Charlo, Errol Spence Jr., potentially David Benavidez. Come on, man. They already had it for $100 million. But yet Crawford can't call out Canelo. Look, Crawford ain't never been on those 3 fighters list. He never been in that. But it would be crazy, right, if Crawford does get this fight after Jamal Charlo. Because the original name that was behind Jamal Charlo was Errol Spence Jr. He was on the list. Imagine that. Crawford replaced Spence the right way. There's no way you was going to get the Canelo fight at a higher division. You take that L and then you mess up the bag at 147 to try to come back down here and fight Crawford. Crawford definitely wouldn't have got no recognition for doing that shit first. You know what I'm saying? He did it first. He removed the freaking undefeated record from Spence, man, in the worst way possible. Beat his ass. Beat his ass, dog. Do we know Crawford would take chances against Canelo? I'm assuming, based off what we've seen with him being put in adverse situations, that Crawford definitely know how to respond to adversity. Now, for me to prognosticate what he's going to do in a fight that we don't even know is going to happen, all I'm saying is I expect him to pretty much do the same that he's done in previous fights. Absent of the criticism on whether people respect the level of fighter that fighter was, we've seen Crawford fight through adversity and respond to it very, very well. And the results speak to them for themselves. He's 40-0. So against Canelo, I expect them to be very methodical. And I don't even have to say this, but people know that Crawford has been on record as saying he don't watch much film. He let his team watch film, and then they come to him with a game plan. I expect him to go in there and show up and show out. I expect him to give Canelo a difficult time. Think about the performance. Think about the performance that we just seen with Canelo and Charlo. Charlo didn't want to fight Canelo. Think about Bud in the biggest fight of his career. When he seized the momentum in the second round, he never gave it back. He never gave it back, man. Not only that, he continued to pour it on. He continued to pour it on. It's like, you know, when you have that hot grease in there, and you know back in the day how they used to get empty plastic containers, try to pour that chicken grease in there without letting it cool down enough. And you see people over here, and they right hand looking deformed because they used to try to pour that hot grease on there. Look, that's what it's going to be, man. He's going to continue to pour that hot grease on Canelo. He's going to continue to let him know, I'm different. I'm him. So T.O. can't call out multiple fighters. He can call out who he want. He can call out who he want. But look, who has T.O. really called out? You know what I'm saying? When T.O. was finally transitioned from lightweight to super lightweight, who did he want to fight? Devin Haney wasn't up there yet. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to fight Josh Taylor, even though people thought Josh Taylor was going to fight Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? So he wanted to fight the undisputed champion at the time. But he ended up fighting the first guy, and then he fought Martin, and then his third fight at 140, he fought Josh Taylor. He got to the pot of gold once again, bro. What he do down at lightweight? He went in there, fought a title eliminator against Masayoshi Nakatani, then fought Richard Comey, stopped him in 2, and then fought Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, as far as what he had in his career right now, him calling out Crawford, He has to stand on that. He has to stand on that because Crawford has accomplished more than Teo has. Teo can talk about him becoming the first two-time undisputed, but when you won that, you received the what belt and the what belt, and what belts did Crawford have after he beat Spence? You seen all of them in the picture. So you can say just because you had the, you got the ring and all that. I get it. But to answer your question, he can call out whoever he wants, but just don't do it for fun. Don't call the man out because you saying he the best. He say he the best, but yet shit on his resume. Like you up here saying his resume ain't nothing. It doesn't qualify him to get a fight with Canelo. Are you trying to do this to take the attention off him calling out Canelo to bring it on yourself? Or do you really want to go and step at 147 and see what it's like to face somebody the caliber of Terrence Crawford? I mean, you have to ask yourself, T.O. Man, I got mad love for T.O., man. Real talk. I got mad love for him and his pops, man. I mean, I broke bread with them. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I mean, I got love for T.O. as a fighter. Seriously. But good question, man. Bro, he already is trying to say he wants Crawford next year. If he wants Crawford in 25, then it's just February, the first week. He shouldn't be saying nothing. He should be talking about some other fighters. If it's Haney, if it's Matias, if it's freaking the winner of Cruz Romero, he should be thinking about them. You know what I'm saying? Can you help me understand a hater's mindset? If they want Bud to lose so bad, wouldn't it be best to push for Crawford to fight Canelo? Hey, facts. Real talk. Facts, bro. I totally get it. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't you want him to fight the toughest fight and not deter him from fighting somebody like Canelo? Come on, man. Wouldn't you want him to do that? You would want him to fight somebody who's already official, man. Canelo's official. I've never seen a fighter in recent times that go in there. They're supposed to be the youngest of the young, like the assassin, the Mexican assassin, red hair, AK Cinnamon. He's supposed to be the one going there and dethrone Floyd Mayweather, and went in there and got clinic. But ever since that clinic, man, it didn't stop him, man. He's went to the pantheon of boxing, bro. Let's keep it real. Teo got battered by Cambosos and clearly lost to Santa Martin. He's nowhere near Crawford's level, and it doesn't make sense money-wise. Anyone thinks he wins is on the same yayo. Well, this day and time, the THC level is 0.08. You know what I'm saying? It's like a hybro. It's not the same that they used to do back in the day. And that's why you get, different type of freaking, temperatures and behavior and all that. But listen, I don't really like getting into pay-per-view numbers because, like I said before, in Saudi, they're not talking about no pay-per-view numbers. They just want to see the fights. They just say, okay, the Sheik putting on the fight, cool. Nobody's talking about pay-per-view numbers. Nobody. Who cares about pay-per-view numbers? But peep this out, though. That was a criticism that they was disqualifying Crawford for before he stepped in there with Spence. Now, for Teo, we know he did good viewership, solid viewership when he stepped in there with Seal Lomachenko. That was on free TV, bro. Look, I got respect for Teo and how he carries himself. You know what I'm saying? I laugh at how he manipulates the freaking media. When he went in there against it was supposed to be the toughest fight of his career, he stood strong and negotiated $800,000 more. You know what I'm saying? He was supposed to get like 1.2, and he negotiated the $2 million. And then he went in there and bucked the system with Top Rank and went the purse bid, and Triller ended up winning the purse bid. Even though, due to Floyd Mayweather the first time, it fell out 3 times, and it defaulted over to freaking the zone. But I respected what he was doing. He was trying to get more money. Unfortunately, the powers that be wouldn't allow T.O. at that time to do it. But I respect him attempting to do something for his career. But still, when it comes to Crawford, it's okay for people to say, yeah, him calling out Crawford. Yeah, he has the credentials. He has credentials. He did what he did, undisputed at 135. He came in here, got another lineal title at 140. You know what I'm saying? He's doing what he's doing, bro. But I think Crawford is too much for him, real talk. Aaron said he wants to fight. Hey, if Bob at 90 years old, man, and respect to Bob, because they still can talk that boxing. If Bob is up here saying he wants to fight, he know what he needs to do to make the fight. That's an old employee of his. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Bob will want that fight. But the only way I see it being funded correctly, to kind of level up to what Crawford was able to get with Spence, is that it's over in the sand. People may not want to hear that. They might want to say, I want to go to the fight. No, stay your black ass at home and look at the fight on TV and pay the pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Pay the pay-per-view. Why? Because I want to see the fighters get paid, both of them. I want to see them get paid. I'll watch the fight just like I watched that other fight card over there. I'll watch it if it was in the dirt. Take it to the sandbox, I don't feel no type of way about it. Sir Senior on deck, I see you, man. What's good? If Crawford takes that fight at 147, they would never let him live it down. I agree, MD. But I'm just basically, responding to the chat like, has he did something? Has he, basically accomplished, made some, how you put it? Has he took some big steps in his career? Absolutely. Is it enough for people to respect that Crawford would get anything? Crawford don't have anything he's going to earn from T.O. though. What is he going to get at this point? Now put it this way. If Crawford was set to make his biggest payday with Teofimo Lopez, wherever that may be, like social media, a fight that he might have been in that I don't know, anything that T.O. could have substituted or had a fight that people can look back on and say, oh man, they did big numbers with this fight, then I'll be on board. But if Crawford fights T.O. at 47 right now, no belt except his own lower division, Crawford is the target right now. They're going to criticize the shit out of him, bro. Just like they're criticizing, they'll say, boots, boots, boots. But when he got dang, finished with him, they're going to say, man, I don't give Crawford now. I told people. I said it. He never should have fought. He never should have fought Boots. I said it, man. I said it. He wasn't no real champion. He was an email champion. He this and that. His resume wasn't up there yet. See, Crawford knew that. Crawford just cherry picked. He knew what that was about. They ain't going to give that man no credit, bro. Crawford is the target of all targets this era. They know it's not possible. That's why they don't want to see it. Because if Bud beats Canelo, they're going to have to give him his flowers and eat crow. There's going to be a lot that they eat. Believe me, it ain't going to be crow. It's going to be a lot of roadkill out there, Cobain. It ain't going to be crow. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be some fish on the road, too. In the second, third stages of rigor mortis, it's going to be carcasses. If Crawford beat Canelo, it's going to be a lot of wildlife rotting. Them horses that they was riding on, all of them is going to be over there. It ain't going to be no, them mother's going to be over there dead, gone. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be over. Canelo's going to put his horses up for sale. I just want to let you know. I no longer want my stallions. I'm letting them go for high price. You know what I'm saying? That's let me see. That'll be about $3 million. If you want them, let me know. You know, I'm done. I'm retiring. It's going to be horses all over the road. Done. You know what I'm saying? Full saddles on them. The mother's gonna be bucking their last breaths. I'm serious, because people are gonna be riding that horse. Could you imagine all the Mexican fan base that's gonna be tuned in? If that fight does happen, come on, man. That's a big fight. That's the biggest fight in boxing right now people want to see. Crawford Canelo. With how much T.O. get hit, his face be looking like after fights. Can you imagine Crawford hitting him with them big bear paws he has, 8-ounce MX gloves? Oh, man, it's nothing like seeing a Kodiak, you know what I'm saying, slap the face off an animal that was just walking on the trails, not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Like I said, people look at Crawford as just, oh, he's small, he's short, or whatever. But who could imagine the extent of damage that he enforced or inflicted on Errol Spence Jr. the way he did? Who would have thought all the strawberry juice would be forced from his pores? Who would have thought that? Who? His sinuses was dripping. Usually they have, you know how they say you have post-nasal drip and his mucus? No, his sinuses, all the strawberries that he ever ate leading up to that fight. Crawford was goddamn making him purge every bit of sugar. All of that, y'all. White chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate. It was bad. Yeah, the THC amount they putting out now compared to 30 years ago is crazy. Yeah, man. It's all that synthetic stuff, bro. To find you something better to do, because Bud different from anybody he has already fought. Hey, man, T.O., people going to get behind T.O. because what he says makes sense to a lot of people. Like, a lot of things he's saying makes sense to the cause that he's trying to speak on. He's going to trash talk. I don't like when people act like trash talking don't exist in boxing. It exists, okay? Don't act like it don't exist just because you have somebody like T.O. going at your favorite fighter. No, but I will criticize T.O. and how he's trash talking. You can't say that you want to fight Crawford because he's the best, but you're gonna leave out and say because he say he the best. I think I'm the best, but he say he the best, even though all his opponents been handicapped. No, that's not giving him credit. That's not proving that you want to fight the best, brother. You telling people you want to fight the best, and but yet you devaluing his freaking resume. You're very critical. You scrutinize the wrong thing, man. Shout out to Reed on deck. They just don't want Bud to be great. That's all. If he beats Canelo, they will still find some way to discredit the win. It'll be difficult, Reed. Canelo is much younger than Bud. I mean, Canelo has, I believe he's over 60 fights now, I think, if I'm correct. The man started fighting when he was 15 years old. They may use that as an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Because Wilfred Benitez, you know how he suffered that pugilistica, from fighting at a young age and getting to a point where he's just it's a sad story, bro. Because he was basically adored by his country, man. Like they respected him so much for who he was. But with Canelo's been in the game for a long time, over there in Mexico, since 15. So he got some tread. So that may be the only area that they try to use. But when he was in there with Jermell Charlo, he was running all around. He was showing that his knees was okay. You know what I'm saying? Come on. It was Jermell Charlo, though. Canelo could have wore his PJs up in there with slides on. You know what I'm saying? He still would have beat Jermell Charlo. Bob wants to make that fight to get rid of, not sure what that means. Shout out to the Oracle himself, Trick Noti in the building. What's going on with it, Trick? I'm calling Bob Arum on Monday, have questions. Hey, man, let us know how that go. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Trick, man. Behind the scenes, the Oracle has arrived. What's good? What does he get out of knocking out? You have to see if that's possible, though, because no one's been able to do it. You know what I'm saying? No one's been able to do it. Mexican fan base knows exactly who Crawford is. They know. They know. You know what I'm saying? They know who he is. But they just don't want to get to know him intimately on fight night. Because then he's going to be right there, stepping in there against their savior, the Lord, their king, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Listen, people. I can't imagine how that would change boxing. Seriously. I just want to see a good fight. But also I want to see Crawford go in there and get the win. Yes, sir. I want to see him go in there and once again set another level. And you know what he said? He always said he had to prove himself he had to prove people wrong his whole life. Well, goddamn it, I'm ready for him to prove the boxing fans wrong if he get to fight with Canelo again. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I want to see him go in there and you know, add another layer to his legacy. Why? Why? Because I believe he can do it. Now I will digress a little bit off my prediction because I said Spence had 0 opportunities, 0 chance of beating Crawford. Of course, I would be out of my mind if I was to say something like that about Canelo. Even if I did on here, people will look at me like, man, come on, man, stop it, W. Man, come on, man. So you saying he has 0% to win? Yeah. Look, we're not talking about Spence in the rematch. Oh, my fault. I thought y'all was talking about Spence in the rematch. Y'all talking about Canelo? No, Canelo, man, it's going to be a 50-50 fight to me. But Spence, I feel that he don't have a 0% chance of making it out of the fourth round. I give him the 4th round, dog. I give him the 4th round, man. That's it. I give him the 4th round. Seriously. I don't really want to make this about them, though. Somebody Warren on deck, man. Peace and blessings, beloved. Salute WCS. Certified. Stamp the like button and support the grind. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate everyone that's in the building. The grind don't stop. We got fight night tonight. Just wanted to let y'all know that. You know what I'm saying? Main event, Teofimo Lopez versus Jermaine Ortiz. Co-main, co-feature, however you want to phrase it. Keyshawn Davis in there against Jose Pedraza. It should be interesting. Not to forget, Abdullah Mason is in the building. Pay attention to Abdullah Mason, man. Very talented. Him and his family, man, you know, he's trained, you know, his dad, you know, his whole family. They solid, bro. That's a solid family right there, you know, raising them kids. You know, shout out to Team Tucker. They on the hunt, too. They on the hunt, too. Solid family, man. They got them boxing families out there. You know? Black fathers, fighters, man, train their son. Salute to them. I meant to say Bob Arum trying to get rid of Tio. You know how promoters do. Fighters they want to get rid of. I see where you can be at with that MD, but I'm not sure, man, because they putting all this promo. Promo takes money. And, you know, they was up there allowing Tio to be at the headquarters or something, doing that freaking, you know, little commercial he was doing with no shirt on. I mean, just giving him leeway. You know what I'm saying? Giving him leeway to promote himself and put that content out there. I don't know if they're trying to get rid of him, dog. You know what I'm saying? Something else is up. Like, the wild part, what's on my mind about tonight is he goes in here and looks spectacular. I know somebody said earlier in the chat that that Bob Arum wanted to make that fight. T.O. goes in here and starches freaking Jermaine Ortiz and beat him up real good.
or get them up out of there. It all depends on the route they're trying to go. Because look, at the end of the day, you know fighters do what? They take the opportunity to get free promo. So what do? They either go at one another or they basically do something that people are going to talk about to get buzz. And guess what? That's what T.O.'s been doing with Crawford. So we'll know at the end of the fight. If it turns out the way we think it is, I got T.O. winning the fight. And if he comes out his mouth with the Crawford talk again, I think Top Rank is definitely going to be a part of something. Want to be starting something. You want to be starting something. You want to be starting something. Yeah. Come on down now. Yeah. Anyway, let me get back to the live. I'm with Bud, win or lose or draw. Give my man his shot at Canelo. He's going to drop his nuts on Canelo and get his respect. Yeah, man, I think he's going to do very well. So well to the point where people are going to be having the same conversation. Like, I didn't think he can do that. I didn't think he can do that to Canelo. Did y'all think he can do it? Yeah, man, I did. My bank account said I thought he can do it. Now, I would love for them to slip up and try to come out with early odds and have Canelo like 10-1. I dare you. Oh, I dare you. I'm putting my money on that. Ooh, I dare you to come out with that. You know what I'm saying? I want them to come out with something early to get people to, tune in and pay attention and act like Canelo's going to go in there and dominate Crawford. I'm definitely putting my money on Crawford. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I'm saying? As far as knockout goes, I really can't sit up here and say I'm a be confident enough to say he knocks him out. But as far as boxing IQ and his athleticism and how strong people underestimate him and stuff, and just how he is overall as a fighter, one of the best of this era, one of the best fighters of this era, skill set wise, boxing IQ wise, man, and discipline. He's going to give Canelo problems. I'm not saying Canelo isn't, but I've never seen Crawford not have an adjustment that he could make that wasn't effective right then and there. I didn't see Canelo make an adjustment against Dimitri Bivol. Did you? I didn't see him make no adjustment. He was up there trying to punch the dude in the left shoulder. He was trying to punch him in the left bicep to slow him down. I'm like, huh? Bivol looked at him like, look, bro, that shit didn't work. What are you talking about? When I seen that, I say, you know what I'm saying? Crawford, he makes adjustment. You know what I'm saying? His adjustments reflect immediately. I always love bringing this up about Kell Brook. Kell Brook was landing that jab until Crawford, switched it up at the end of the third. He started, okay, Kell Brook started getting touched up, and then in the fourth round, it was a wrap. That's when I can congratulate Tony Weeks. I can say, Tony Weeks, you did a good job. But that stuff you was doing, I ain't gonna mention it, bro. Jones on deck, man. What's good with it? Y'all hold on for a second. Yeah, we back, man. But I hear you, Cobain. You know what I'm saying? I hear you. I hear you. Real talk. I hear you. For sure. I got T.O. showing out tonight. I think T.O. going to be too much for Jermaine in the late rounds. I got T.O. period, man. Period. However he get the win, I got him. You know what I'm saying? Very talented fighter. Very athletic. You know what I'm saying? T.O. can dance better than some of the black fighters out here. Man, I'm just saying the culture's changed. I mean, you don't see too many black fighters even doing a backflip in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Besides Javante, a Tank goes up to the top rope. I haven't seen you do that, T.O. I haven't seen you go up to the top rope like Tank. I haven't seen it, but I have seen you do it, you know, cautiously on the canvas. But ain't nobody doing that like goddamn Tank. Tank climb up to the top rope and don't hesitate. I'm going to be honest with you. If I climb up to the top rope and attempted the backflip, they might well put out the obituary. I'm not landing it. I'm not. They say, I'm going to say Canelo was washed up and past his prime when Bud beats him. See, Samad, I will have to provide them with some local psychiatrist or psychologist, however the title they want to use, because I say, how can Canelo be younger than Crawford, but yet he was washed up? Who washed him? He fought Floyd when he was very young. I think he was 23, right? Something like that. And then he fought Dimitri Bivol and made it to the 12th round in a higher weight class. It wasn't the first time he competed that weight class, but he fought at a higher weight class. Crawford, the much smaller fighter, he goes in there and beat him. How would that even stick? How would they say Canelo is washed up against a small, fragile monster? I tried to tell y'all that Omaha Monster is different, but y'all just don't want to listen. They want to keep on going back and watching the T-Mobile massacre after I told them it was going down. Even then, they want to look at it like, no, he was weight drained. Some people saying it's impossible, with same ones probably saying it's impossible Bud gonna drop Arrow 2 to 3 times. Hey man, Cobain on fire, man. Please, no arsonists in the chat. Please keep the chat structural, limited structural damage as possible. Stop lighting fires, please. You have to understand, it's very tense right now. There's a lot that's going on in 2024. A lot. Politically and athletically. You know what I'm saying? So be careful about the comments you're leaving. When they make sense like that, let's not rile up those individuals like I mentioned the other night. They haven't quite recovered yet. Chill. They haven't recovered. A lot of them disappeared off the YTC. They just couldn't fathom that plan out in their head. So when it did in front of their eyes, they're like, oh my God. Jesus. 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 That's all they were saying. They was looking through, you know how you put your hand over your eyes and you have a little crack through it. Oh God, this is for real? Or this intermission? This a halftime show? What? There's no halftimes in boxing. What is going on? Did he just drop him? No. I heard a couple of content creators when he dropped him in the second say, oh, Spence slipped. Well, it's good that you're not the third man in anything. He didn't slip. It was a knockdown, okay? Don't lie to your audience. In my Cat Williams voice, don't lie to your audience. Bud versus Canelo is a good one. Like, if anybody could do a jump in weight classes, like that. Bud can't square biz. Yes, sir. Let them know, man. Belief is something else, right? When you got your heart behind it. You know what I'm saying? You got your heart in it. You believe what the heck you talking about. You ain't just up here saying that. You know what I'm saying? I believe Bud can go in there and beat Canelo, man. They're always talking about, you have all these boxing documentaries about how these great fighters was able to do something no other fighter has accomplished. And they go through the timelines on that fighter building up to that moment. And then they talk you through the actual moment. You know what I'm saying? They itemize, they break it down for you. What is the difference? Crawford gets the opportunity. It's yay or nay, goddammit. The fight's made. We go to fight night, opening bail. That's all we need. And then the rest lies it is. But you know one thing we forgetting, everybody in the chat? We forgetting that when it comes to this fight, Jones, right? And you said that if anybody could do it jumping up, right? Imagine what they're gonna say though. You know who name they're gonna bring up prior to the fight? Man, Canelo gonna knock him out. Why is that? Man, Gamboa, dog, Gamboa gonna come back. Oh, and they call my name again? I get a paycheck again? My name, image, likeness, they mention my name again? Yeah, they talking about, Crawford's going in there to face Canelo, and they say Crawford's gonna get knocked out because you heard him, and man, they still talking about me. Oh my God, I might have to come out of retirement. No, you good. No, don't do that now. Don't do that. No, stay where you at. They still gonna be bringing up Gamboa, man. 10 years ago, they're gonna bring up Gamboa. And Gamboa hurt Crawford. Yeah, he did. But he got it done. He hurt him, but goddamn Crawford got him done. I'm going to no top rope and jump off nothing. It will be over. Hey, I'm not even talking about freaking wheelchair bound. I'm talking beast. I'm talking about brainstem detached. Oh my God. I'm talking about no more live streams. I'm talking about a military, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about all that, bro. It's gonna hurt. They sold when they put Bud in top 5 or 10 of all time. How dare you, man? Dang, it's only February. It's only February, dog. Chill. You know it's Black History Month too, man. Chill. You are getting these people riled up. Chill, bro. I'm trying to keep the peace, and I'm trying to do something that Smokey used to do back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Hi, I'm Smokey. I want to prevent forest fires. I'm trying to prevent the fires from happening. You know what I'm saying? You talking that top 5 or 10 all time. People are going to go insane, man. You already got some from July 29th still in the padded room. Still in the padded room. Excuse me. I just wanted to let you know that you're free to leave. We want to really debrief you and everything and check you out. Excuse me. You want to continue your stay? Well, we did all the tests and everything, and everything seems well. You want to stay for another 6 months? They don't want to come out for that white padded room, dog. I'm serious. They don't want to come out, man. It's too much. We're definitely not entertaining that. We're trying to talk about Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. That's who we want him to fight. We want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? If they can make another fight. If Canelo isn't available, I read this point where they was talking about that supposedly Crawford and Canelo may potentially be in talks. Like I said, I don't take no interest in that, but I will talk about it. I'm not going to give you any commitment to say, yeah, they in talks. We should hear something real soon. Nah, but this is a special fighter, man. This is a special fighter. You know what I'm saying? Just like Deontay Wilder was special, man. I know a lot of people hate him. Special fighter. Terrence Crawford, special fighter. Teofimo Lopez, special fighter, man. You know what I'm saying? Special fighters, bro. Special fighters. Jahai, MF, and Tucker, a.k.a. Electric Boogie. Special fighter. You know what I'm saying? Special fighter, bro. But I will say this, though. Let me just briefly touch bases on this article. Boxing News 24 said Crawford drops F-bomb on Teofimo. Is Terrence ducking him too? This is by the hater himself, Chris Williams. Okay? He says former undisputed welterweight champion Terrence Crawford. So he says former. He don't say currently unified. That's why I'm telling you right off the back, this dude's a hater. I've read some of his articles before, and you know I can identify a hater because I've read some of his articles who he don't like, you know, certain fighters. He said Terrence Crawford rudely. Now we're talking about boxing. They're talking about rudely. When Mike Tyson was biting off body parts, cartilage. You know what I'm saying? He was biting off ears, not pig ears, holy ears. It says former undisputed welterweight champion Terrence Crawford rudely dismissed the idea of fighting the charismatic, talented WBC 140-pound champion Teofimo Lopez, dropping an F-bomb when asked about fighting him. You can tell that's extreme biased already. All right? Crawford's blunt response. FTO, said Crawford when asked by media about Teofimo, making it clear that he wasn't going to entertain any questions about facing the ambitious go-getter for a mega fight between the two on pay-per-view. Crawford's crude reaction to a simple question was strange, making some boxing fans wonder if he now feels he's too good for Teofimo and the other champions. You see where I'm at with this? Too good? Too good? We're talking about boxing. What do they say? Bring in the choir, everybody. Chorus. Okay. Boxing is a what? Business. Busy business. Okay, thank you very much. Boxing is a business, y'all. But that only refers, or the designation is for only certain names. Boxing is a business. So for this fool to get on here and talk about he thinks he's too good to face other champions, like it's not about the business of boxing. He goes on to say that's a second big name fighter that Crawford has zero interest in fighting. He's already rejected a fight with Jaron Boots Ennis, which would be a massive one. This guy said massive. He channeled his Eddie Hearns, y'all. This guy said massive. For real? I don't think one time when Crawford was awaiting to leave the tarmac and land on Spence's head July 29th that anybody said it would be a massive. And here he is, Boots. He didn't even beat anybody for his IBF championship. He says he's already rejected a fight with Jaron Boots Ennis, which would be a massive one, and it would make money and cement his legacy. I'm shaking my head. It goes on to say, did Crawford win over the car crash? Look, the car crash wrecked shell of Errol Spence last July, turned him into an economic, making him think he can walk on water now. Crawford transformed from the assuming WBO 147-pound into this dismissive fighter, rejecting talented opposition like Teofimo Lopez, like Teofimo, like he's unworthy of sharing the ring with him. Hold on for a second. It will work in Crawford's favor if he were to fight Teofimo next fight. It would keep his popularity high and strengthening his position to get a chance to fight Canelo in September. What did Crawford expect? He dropped in on Teofimo's weigh-in today for his fight against Jermaine Ortiz this Thursday. So, of course, the media was going to ask him about fighting Teo next. You can argue that Teo stands a better chance of moving up one division from 140 to defeat Crawford than Terrence does in moving up 3 divisions to defeat Canelo at 168. Crawford wants Canelo. Teofimo, 19-1, 13 KOs, has called out the 3-belt, 147-pound champion and is ready to move up one weight class to make the fight happen. Crawford doesn't have a fight schedule, and he's just sitting on Canelo's watch, hoping to be blessed by the Mexican star for a payday. This guy is a hater. Absolutely a hater. It's not a given that Canelo will give Crawford the fight that he's pushing for because the Mexican star might not want to deal with the inevitable. Okay? He might not want to deal with, where is this at? He might not want to deal with, where am I at? The inevitable backlash that he'll take from fans for fighting a guy 3 divisions below him. If Crawford doesn't get the Canelo fight, what is he going to do? Does he come crawling back to Teofimo in boots? This guy is an absolute hater. He was saying Crawford is going to crawl back? Are you serious? What are you talking about? Do you make any sense? Are you making any sense, bro? But check this out. I know the fights are probably on right now, the prelims. I'm definitely going to watch the fights. And I'll probably be back on to talk about good old main event and the co-main event and the fight card in general. It's been 2 hours. Appreciate everyone. Big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-Side official, baby. I'm out. Salute.